First at 5, we are bringing you breaking news on the north side. San Antonio police responding to a call for shots fired along Chase Hill Boulevard.
That's outside Loop 1604 west of I-10. The call came out around 3 this afternoon. And since then, we're hearing that it's turned into a standoff. Our Patty Santos live at the scene with more.
Yeah, this is happening right next door to Monroe May Elementary School. We want to show you the scene right here. The apartments that you see back there, that is where this situation is going on that police say they have under control right now. The school right next door to it. We can tell you right now that everyone inside, all the kids, staff, parents, have been slowly evacuated in the last couple of hours. We can also tell you that a lot of the parents, when they were showing up at around 3 o'clock, which is the pickup, they were pretty startled to see all of these officers, everything that was going on. And, they went inside trying to get some answers. Take a listen.
They just said it's not safe to go outside. We're going to escort you to the cafeteria or in the gym in just a few minutes. Just wait for instructions.
And again, back here live on this scene, what we know is that police are handling a standoff situation at the Chase Hill apartments. We also want to tell you that Secco Creek, Chase Hill, north of Secco Creek, is closed. Anybody that lives in this area is not even being allowed to walk up to their homes. We're going to continue to monitor the situation here. We also want to tell you that if any parents have kids in the after-school program at this school, the district has told us that they're making contact with those parents to tell them about the changes in the pickup tonight. We'll stay on scene here and bring you more at 6.
Thank you, Patty. After weeks of intense pressure, it's official. South by Southwest is canceled. About an hour ago, Austin officials declared a local disaster for the city of Austin over the coronavirus.
And as part of that plan, the Arts and Music Festival, which was scheduled for later this month, had to be canceled. South by Southwest has been an annual event since the 80s. It draws in hundreds of millions of dollars each year for the Austin economy. Now, today's announcement comes just 2 days after Austin said the festival would go on as planned. Its cancellation raising questions on whether festivals here in San Antonio, like Fiesta, are still going to be moving forward. At last check, the Fiesta Commission said it was still on.
And speaking of the coronavirus, the death toll in the U.S. now sits at 14. Right now, there are more than 200 confirmed cases across the country. The global number of COVID-19 cases has now surpassed 101,000. Meantime, San Antonio's premier attractions are primed and ready for spring break. The zoo, SeaWorld, Fiesta, Texas, all hoping for large crowds from here as well as elsewhere to enjoy themselves and spend some money. And while they are being mindful of the COVID-19 factor. Jesse Degollado found folks out and about who are doing a lot of hand washing while still making the most of their time in the Alamo City.
It was a terrific day to be at the San Antonio Zoo. Still, concerns about the coronavirus are why some are trying to avoid being around a lot of people.
Just for now, until we're sure that there's no problems.
But once inside, along with everyone else,
it was super crowded, and I didn't even think of the virus.
Down on the San Antonio Riverwalk, visitors were strolling, riding the iconic barges. But for some, the coronavirus was on their mind before they came here.
Yeah, I almost canceled this trip.
For the sake, she says, of a family member back home who could be more susceptible because they're already ill. But she says her son is here for a law conference.
You do need to take precautions. You do need to be aware and take a stand for awareness, but you can't live scared and paranoid.
If you don't feel comfortable, don't go out. But if you do, then live life to the fullest. Take advantage of the opportunities you do have, and I think that's a good way to live.
Here with her mom for a basketball tournament that her sister is playing in, this young woman says she was a bit worried.
But I haven't been too scared about it. I'm trying to just have faith that whatever happens is in God's will.
Although business usually slows down right before spring break, a restaurant manager says they've actually been quite busy. But she says the next 2 weeks will be the true test of the impact of COVID-19. Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
We have been tracking updates on the coronavirus since the very beginning. You can follow along on our website. We have a map that provides live updates on cases all around the world and those nearest to you. Just go to ksat.com/coronavirus and look for the story at the top of the page. There's also helpful tips on how to protect yourself from respiratory infections like COVID-19. as well as what federal, state, and local governments are doing to keep you protected. Again, all of it available on ksat.com/coronavirus. New at 5, a San Antonio youth pastor has been arrested for child sex crimes. 40-year-old Clayton Turner accused of inappropriately touching a 12-year-old girl and sexually assaulting her. Turner was taken into custody today after the victim came forward at school. Their sheriff's office says that he is a local youth pastor at several places, and they believe that there actually could be more victims. BCSO did not disclose which schools Turner is employed at. He now faces a charge of aggravated sexual assault of a child.
Clothing, wallets, stereo equipment, and even one man's truck. It's what a group of burglars got away with in a South Side subdivision. Some homeowners there say that they took much more, like their sense of security. San Antonio police say that this is the second time the neighborhood on Southton Road near I-37 was targeted. Now, during last night's hit, more than a dozen cars on 3 different streets were broken into. One homeowner says the thieves ended up taking off in his truck. According to police, one thing each of these cases had in common, they started with unlocked doors. Police hope neighborhood surveillance will help track down the suspects.
A 33-year-old mother accused of handcuffing her son and whipping him with an extension cord, also facing an assault charge. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies were called to a neighborhood yesterday afternoon after someone reported the boy running through the streets. When deputies got there, the boy told them that this woman was disciplining him for smoking. Arrest documents say the boy had visible whip marks on both legs. And when they questioned Amanda Guevara, she allegedly said she handcuffed him so he wouldn't move while she hit him, saying it was for discipline for him getting into trouble at school.
All right, it is a beautiful day out there. 68 degrees at 5:05. I know that we've been hoping for some rain, but I'm not sure if we're even going to get any today.
I think we need it, but right now we're enjoying the nice weather, aren't we, Adam?
Yeah, you know, it is beautiful outside today, and it's a great day to be out here at the National Shooting Complex. And coming up in a few minutes, I'll explain to you why we're here and what we're doing here today. But I also want to bring you the forecast. I mean, beautiful outside right now, just these high, thin clouds. And the weekend will feature some changes. And by the way, we're going to show you Bridget and Logan. Schreiner University, they're going to be shooting over there. All right, we'll have more coming right up.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. It is almost time to count votes again as 6 states are heading to the polls on Tuesday. It's the latest chapter in the ongoing battle for the Democratic nomination for president. As Whitney Weil reports, Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden are both zeroing in on the night's big prize, Michigan.
As the Democratic nomination narrows down to a 2-man race, the next big battle between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders will take place in Michigan, which, along with 5 other states, votes next Tuesday. It's a state that Bernie Sanders knows well.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank the people of Michigan.
His big win there over Hillary Clinton in 2016 helped boost his candidacy and allowed his campaign to continue on for months. This week, Sanders canceled a planned rally in Mississippi, choosing to campaign in Michigan instead.
He's going all in on Michigan in terms of spending his time there. That's a state he won in the past. It's a state his message for working class folks.
Biden, meanwhile, is riding high from his Super Tuesday wins.
I am going to be voting for Joe Biden.
And has the endorsement from Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
It feels good.
If Super Tuesday is any indication, Biden will do well with African American voters, which made up about 21% of the electorate in Michigan in 2016, according to exit polls. But it's the working class white voters who could tip the balance.
Let's go to Michigan, Bernie. Let's see if that's true. I'm the guy that helped bail out the automobile industry. What'd you do, old buddy? Come on.
In addition to Michigan, Biden hopes to rack up another big win in the South, with Mississippi also voting on Tuesday. Idaho, Missouri, North Dakota, and Washington State will also have their say, helping to paint a clearer picture of where this nomination battle is heading. In Washington, I'm Whitney Wild.
Over in Tennessee, President Trump visiting this afternoon to assess the damage from last weekend's tornadoes where 25 people were killed. Today, the president toured some of the hardest hit communities like Putnam County, where 18 of those deaths occurred. Now that all missing people have been accounted for, survivors say that the next step is rebuilding.
The heartbreaking thing at this point is that, I mean, we're friends with most everybody in the neighborhood, and so all of the lives that have been lost, it's unbelievable, it's unfathomable.
Today, President Trump promised more aid from the federal government, but an amount has not been determined yet.
More troops heading to the southern border to help U.S. Customs and Border Protection. This reportedly a response to last week's appeal of the quote, remain in Mexico, unquote, policy, which prompted groups of migrants to mass at some locations.
Yeah, the policy would require migrants to wait in Mexico until their U.S. court date. About 160 active duty personnel are being moved from Louisiana to various parts of the southern border. They're expected to be there for about 2 weeks.
Understanding the U.S. Census is what is on today's agenda for bilingual students at Sky Harbor Elementary. The goal, helping them understand why participation is important. Fourth grade teacher Raymond DeMaio says teaching his students about the census is important for him because it's his students' first year participating.
They're very interested because, as I said, all of these kids are under 10 years old, so they have never been through a census, and they don't know what a census is. And so we've been learning about all the characteristics, all the things that they look at when they're doing a census.
DeMaio says another important aspect of the census lessons for students to be able to inform their parents about it at home.